Welcome to Gaga Knits. My name's Anita and I live in South Wales in the UK, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Anita Bulb, and show notes can be found in the description box below. I hope you've had a nice few weeks since we spoke last. I'm a little bit late recording this as I went away in my caravan at the end of June when I should have recorded my last episode. I did do a little recording before I went with some of my projects, so hopefully if I can work this out I'm going to put that here and then carry on with the rest of the podcast. It's Monday today, which is my day off at least until September when Jodie goes back to work. So far this morning I got up at 6:30, I made Josh's sandwiches, I've loaded the washing machine, unloaded the dishwasher and walked the dog. So much for my day to myself. But I am meeting a friend for coffee at 11 today. Well, I say coffee, but I don't drink coffee, so we're going to meet for tea. And I wanted quickly to pop in. I am sat in my craft room, which is still a bit of a mess because I took the old bookcase down. I had an IKEA bookcase and it became a little bit dangerous because the sides where the shelves join had stretched out a little bit, and sometimes the shelf could drop off those little pins, and I was a bit worried if Harry was in here or Jack that it could be quite dangerous if they went to reach up for something on the shelves and they fell down, especially as I had books and things on them. So I bought some floating shelves from IKEA that were meant to be for downstairs in the living room. So Josh has promised me he's going to put them up today after work. So my craft room is a little bit of a mess. But I wanted to show you anyway. I wanted to ask you a question about gauge swatches. I never used to gauge swatch, and I do understand why you should gauge swatch because it does make sense, because I do see a difference in the swatching. Now I am joining in July with Constance from Stitching Over the Days knit along. She's doing a Kim Hargreaves knit along, and I'm going to join in with the Bonnie jumper, which is this one, and I'm using Drops Kids Silk Unicolor. Drops Kids Silk, this here, and it's so lovely and soft. You have to knit it holding 2 strands of yarn, and I was a little bit concerned about that because I've not done that before, but I have done my gauge swatch and it's fine as long as you make sure you are actually holding the 2 and wrapping the 2 around your needle. Be fine. I hope I don't have to unpick it at all because I think it might be a bit of a nightmare then. But anyway, I've done my gauge swatch, and that is 4 inches by 4 inches using the needle size recommended, which I'm not sure what that was. And I haven't got the circular needles in the size, so I'm using really old straight needles, 1 pair plastic and 1 pair metal. So I'll see how I get on that. If I find it really annoying, I'll just order some new needles. So anyway, this was spot on, but all I did was knit it and pin it to my board and measured out the 4 inches and pinned it to see it, and it's quite stretchy. But what I'm curious about, some people have said, or when I've watched other people's podcasts and they've done their gauge swatches, they say they knitted it, they soaked it and blocked it and then got the gauge. But I don't really understand why you would do that, because when you're knitting up the garment, you're not going to soak it and stretch it. So how would you tell if you're knitting the right length if the gauge swatch was soaked? If you could explain that to me, I would really appreciate it, because I am swatching, but I don't get the blocking bit first. I have soaked this one. Is Arthur's little cardigan. So that's the back and the two sides and then the sleeves. And I've got to do a collar and some pockets, but I thought I would pin them, soak them and pin them on there because they were curling slightly on the edges and I want to sew them up. So I've just got that by the radiator drying because although I think it's the 16th of June today, it is still really cold and my heating is still coming on in the morning and the evening. Right, I better go and start getting ready to meet my friend and I shall tune in with you again soon. You might notice today I'm not in my usual setting of my craft room, and that's because I'm over my daughter's house. She is having a keeping in touch day at work, so I am here babysitting. That is something I will be doing from September onwards when Harry goes back to school. He's in school today, but when he starts his new year, and so he's in school and Jack is having a nap, and I thought I could try and get this done quickly, and when I go home this evening maybe edit it and put it up because I am a little bit behind. I have brought one project with me to do today, and I'm not sure if I showed this. I might have showed it in the little clip that I've inserted because to be honest I can't remember what I did in there, but I am knitting the Anaheim cardigan by Andy Satterland, and it's that one, and it's in black and white, sorry about that, but I've printed that off and it's a paid for pattern on Ravelry. It took me a little while to get used to the pattern because just the way it was set out, and the pattern repeat was a chart, which I'm not used to, but that's okay, I could do that alright. I highlighted it, I think I typed it up written just to start off with, which was a bit silly because it was so simple. But and I'm not used to the construction of garments being knitted sort of top down. I think I've probably done a few, but you had to do, say, the left front and the back and the right front to a certain amount and then pick them up, and I should have made a note of what row I was on because I've done 3 major mistakes on this item. This is it so far. So all I've got to do is I'm working on the last sleeve, and this yarn is very cheap. I bought it in Shaw's, which is Shaw's the Drapers. They've got a website now, which is just a shop. I don't know if it's just in the UK, and they sell yarn and they sell towels and bedding and curtains, drapers, so everything like that. But this is it, the Mariner double knit in colourway shade 136, which I think might be sunflower, because on the website they've got colours and when you buy them they just have a number. And it was, for 100 grams, it's 100% acrylic. I think it was £1.10 or £1.20 for a ball, and this is my second ball and I'm already doing the sleeve, so I think for 2 balls, so it's going to be £2.20 or £2.40 for the whole garment. And I also bought some buttons because you need 2 buttons at the waist. These then, I think they were under £1 as well, so you can't fault Shaw's. I wanted to knit it in a cheaper yarn first and do all my mistakes and then knit it in a nicer yarn, but this is fine. So my first mistake was when you pick up around the front, back and side, I wasn't on the same row. So there is one front panel, which must be that one, is okay, and then in the back you can see here that is a longer pattern repeat than that one, and it goes round to the front on the one side, but is it that side? So even I have to look for it, so you don't really notice it that much. And also you had to do an I-cord bind off, which I'd not done before, so obviously jumped onto YouTube to look how to do that. and you had to pick up all along the front, around the neck, down the other side, and all around the bottom. But I didn't. I cast off at the end of the front and then reread the pattern and then picked that bit up and did that separately. So I had to add a couple of stitches because I'd obviously had to add it for the I-cord. That was fine. And I might have done the I-cord on the bottom the wrong way round. But hey ho, it wouldn't be me if I didn't make mistakes. Oh, and my third mistake, I cast on or picked up the stitches for the sleeve while I was away at the caravan, and you had to do wrap and turns, and I didn't have internet. Well, you have enough internet at the caravan site to look at your emails, but if you wanted to open anything, it won't let you, it just whirs and hangs. So I thought, oh, I remember how to do wrap and turns, which I did, but I forgot to do the pick-up stitches on the row coming back. So I didn't do it on the first sleeve, which meant when I realised I hadn't done that, I had to do the second sleeve wrong as well, so that they matched. So they're equally wrong, but I don't think that's a bad. It just looks like part of the pattern, and when I wash and block it, maybe it'll blend in a bit more. But when I do my next one, I will make sure that I don't do any of those mistakes. And I've kept a note of them all, so 3 mistakes. And it does really actually, it's a good idea, I think, to get some cheap yarn and knit something first, and it's still wearable. And I plan to wear this. I bought a summer dress in Sainsbury's, and it's very dark navy blue and it's got lemons all over it. So I think this will go nicely with that, and it's just for work. And then I'll make a nicer version in blue to go with the dress that I made with the fabric, the dragonfly fabric. And I have finished that, but I haven't put a picture in, so I'll try and put a picture in here of me wearing it, although I haven't got a picture of it yet, but I will try and get that done. So that's my project that I've brought with me. I've also unpicked the socks that I was knitting for my cousin Nikki, and they were a vanilla sock with the windowsill pattern that I got from Ravelry, but I wasn't very happy with the vanilla sock pattern that I'd chosen. I didn't really like the design on the back, and I think I knitted it a little bit too long for Nikki's foot. So I've unpicked all that anyway, and I've just redone it in a different yarn. It's a Drops Fable, another one with just a number, so I'll put that in, I'll write it underneath. And it's got purple and green in the yarn because they're Nikki's favourite colours. And I'm using the Toe Up Vanilla Afterthought heel sock pattern from Nurturing Fibres from Carla Denning, I think is the one who wrote it. And I have made socks with that before, and I quite like the Afterthought heel because you can just go round and round and put the heel in later. So that's what I'm going to do. I shall put a picture in of them here, and I haven't got them with me, so I don't know how this episode is going to pan out, but I thought if I don't do it today, it's not going to get done at all. So have I got any other patterns or anything I'm knitting? I'm not really, these are the 2 I'm knitting on because I really want to finish this cardigan because I want to join in with the knit along for the Kim Hargreaves, and I need to get that. I want to start that, but I'm not going to start it till I finish this sleeve because I know I'll never get this cardigan done otherwise. And although it's glorious weather in Britain at the moment, I know it's going to cool down at some point, and if I want to wear that dress to work, I need to have my cardigan with it. Acquisitions. I have been very lucky and I won a prize. Nicola from Bumble Stitches, on her last episode, or the last but one, she asked people to put a comment on that video on YouTube. I think it was regarding a crocheted blanket she was making, and she wanted some suggestions. And my suggestion didn't win, it was just the random generator, called my name out, and I won a prize. And they were a set of minis and some other little bits and pieces. So I'll put a picture in here of those. And I haven't had a set of minis before, so any suggestions on what I could make with them would be gratefully accepted. And they look very nice. I haven't taken them out of the packaging or anything yet, because I was going to show you on here first, but I haven't actually got them with me. So a picture will have to do. So I'll have to think of something nice to use those for. And I bought a really nice cross-stitch book from the car boot sale in Carew when we were away in the caravan. So I'll put a picture of the book here and maybe a couple of the pages inside, some really nice things in there that I could custom to my own designs for my family. There's a nice family tree one in there that I think I quite like the idea of making. And I think that would be nice to keep in the living room on the wall. So as I mentioned, we went away in the caravan for a week at the end of June. It was my friend Paula and myself. Martin was meant to come with me, but unfortunately he couldn't get the time off work. So my friend very bravely stepped in and said she'd come with me. She's never been away in a touring caravan before, and she absolutely loved it. So that was great. And I'll put some pictures of the places we went, or some of the beaches and castles, because it's really pretty part of West Wales where we stay. And we went out every day and did something. The weather was absolutely wonderful. Usually when I go away in the caravan it rains, even in the summer, but we were so lucky with the weather. It was really nice and we had a fabulous time. So I shall put some pictures in of that here or at the end. So all that's left to say is have a lovely few weeks, and I shall try and catch up again soon, although at the end of July I believe we're on holiday again in the caravan. I've tried to book a week or so at the end of each month through the summer just to get our money's worth, because I pay to keep it on a site. So we're going to do that. So this time it will be just Martin and myself, and Charlie isn't coming with us. She's staying with Jodie because of Charlie's legs are bad. And it's actually Charlie's birthday while she's staying with Jodie, so I'm sure they will make a big fuss of her, and Harry will love having Charlie to stay. So have a nice few weeks until I speak with you again soon.